Hey guys, what is up? It's your boy Open World Lover here, and today we're going to go through the Spider-Man villains I personally want to see for the third game. So in this video, I originally just was going to make a top 5, but given that we all want and probably predict that the Green Goblin, Carnage, and a few others like that are going to be in the next game, I felt like making a top 5 would be kind of pointless, I didn't want half the slot to just be taken up with villains you guys already knew would come. And I just want to share my thoughts on all the villains right now in the Insomniac Spider-Man game and kind of just determine which ones I want to come back, which ones, aren't going to come back, obviously, because they're deceased in either the last game or the first game. So without further ado, guys, let's get into the video. So I guess we could start off with some villains that I pretty much know aren't going to be in the next game because they're either dead or just kind of like they've been covered a little bit too much and most likely won't show up. So first one's Electro. I wish we could see him in the game. I wish we could explore this version of Max a little bit more as well, but it seems like in the last game, Kraven took him down, killed him. It was pretty much but confirmed with the mission where Spider-Man walks in the room and sees all the different trophies from Kraven as well as the voice memo, so he's not going to be in the third game. Same with the Shocker. I thought, I'm not the biggest Shocker fan, but they did a good job in the first game with the bank robbing heist and him kind of being forced to go do that and Spider-Man having a big epic boss fight with him. I thought that was really fun, but same thing. He's just a little too weak. I don't really see too much of his character going forward or anything too significant, so he won't be in it. Next one, Vulture. Sadly, I like Vulture a lot. This might not be my favorite interpretation either, but it seemed like he already had some spinal cord cancer on the way in the first game, and he was getting older. It seemed like he already fought Spider-Man quite a few times in this universe. We already fight the holograms with Miles in his standalone game, and again, Kraven all but confirms that he took down the Vulture too with basically no effort, which, I don't think we're all shocked by. Same thing with the Scorpion. I'm glad the game some screen time and kind of developed him in the first two games, but he was the only death that by Kraven I felt was earned, and I felt like established Kraven as such a badass, and the other ones were all rushed off screen. That was a lot of people's biggest complaint with the last game, including mine. I get they don't want to have the original Sinister Six in this game, more than likely. They just wanted to kind of clear the way for probably Norman and Carnage. But anyways, yeah, Scorpion won't be in this one. Kind of same with Rhino. We don't know what happened to Rhino exactly. Nothing confirmed of him being dead. I know there's deleted segments of the game. There's a deleted room where there's like trophies and masks on the wall, and you can see Shocker and Vultures. And next to it is Alexi. He's up there with his big rhino horn. So it would make sense, thematically for Kraven to go after Rhino, seeing him as a superior challenge, of course. But not only do I think this version of Rhino would have a hard time hiding from Kraven and his goons, but I think this version of Kraven would not really struggle that much against this kind of Rhino and or not really see him as a big threat or challenge, kind of the same way he didn't really see Mysterio as a threat or challenge in the last game, which was kind of funny that he definitely had different tiers villains he wanted to go after, which again makes sense why he didn't go after characters like the Prowler, Mysterio, because in the trailer I was confused. I thought Prowler would be such a big plot point of the game given that he was on the iPad, but yeah, Kraven just wanted his tech. He never really went after Prowler, but I guess that's all for the villains so far that either won't be in the next game because they're dead or we don't really know where they are. And plus again with Rhino, it's like we've already seen him in the first game with Spider-Man. We've also seen him in the Miles game featured very heavily, so I think we're all kind of over seeing Rhino at this point, at least in this interpretation. Maybe he can come back, but overall, it's like he's gotten beat up several times, and yeah, he's beaten up Miles and others a few times, but ultimately, I think it's time to just make the way for some other villains in this video game saga. But anyways, we're going to move into the villains that, whether they're in the next game or not, maybe won't affect the plot too much, but villains I kind of want to see in the next game right now. We're still going to wait off for Carnage and Goblin until the end of the video. But anyways, Lizard. I want to see Lizard again. I felt like Dr. Connors, yeah, he's obviously back to his normal state, but I love the transformation scene. I love seeing him with the 3 different phases where, of course, he was just normal Dr. Connors, no arm, and then you see his face just turn all green. It was kind of funny, honestly. And then my favorite interpretation when he was running away from Kraven after Spider-Man got stabbed in the beginning of the second game. We saw him in his lab coat. We saw him with the purple pants. We saw him with the snout. It was perfect. Just perfect. Literally, I wish I could put the Homelander meme in here. It was perfect down to the last minute detail. It's like he had the dinosaur lizard face, the long tail. He was big, but not too big. He had the perfect hind legs. Again, the lab coat, the perfect color green, the scales wasn't too big or too comical. He had the purple pants. I mean, he looked, chef's kiss, looked amazing. But I did enjoy fighting the bigger version of him. I had a feeling, not just before the trailers, but we'd be fighting a much larger lizard in that game anyways, because it's a video game. We had the symbiote, might as well. And again, Kraven wanted to go against his biggest hunt in that game, so it makes sense why he was featured in that way. But I think Dr. Connors would be great in this next game. We know Doc Ock and Green Goblin are teaming up, so maybe they'll force Dr. Connors to help them, or maybe Dr. Connors will kind of go rogue on them and one way or another turn into the lizard, and I feel like that would be super fun. Same with Sandman. I love the opening fight scene with Sandman. I feel like the interpretation in this game, he was pretty good. Not better than Spider-Man 3, I'd say, in terms of Flip Marko, but I kind of liked how he was struggling with some mental health stuff, and Spider-Man and Miles were just honestly trying to help him for the most part. They only viewed him as a threat because he was mentally out of control, and his power is obviously very immense, so it made sense why they were so worried about him. But again, it'd be cool to see him back in this game. Maybe not as big of a threat, but again, he should still be in this game. I know we left off where I think you gave his daughter, I don't know. I don't remember. I remember finishing the side mission for that game. I don't know if you gave her a sandcastle or what exactly. It wasn't super duper meaningful, but I would love to see Flint Marko again. Same with Tombstone. I want to see Tombstone again. I love that they featured him in a whole mission. I like that he's reformed. I might as well include Mysterio in this category too. I want to see both of them again. I thought they were both done extremely well. I don't really know what else you could do with both of them at this point. They're both kind of reformed and better, but I don't know. Maybe they get turned by Doc Ock and Norman or something. I don't really know how they get back into the plot, but again, those are villains I'd love to see. And then Prowler. Sorry, I know I've been jumping around, but Prowler, we mentioned him earlier in the video, but I was disappointed. I really thought he'd be a bigger part in Spider-Man 2. Especially the promotional stuff. I thought Kraven would go after him. I thought it would be this big Kraven going after Uncle Aaron and Miles having to protect him. And I know we love the Mr. Negative Martin Lee stuff, and I hope we get to see him again in this game. But I feel like his arc's pretty much done too, so I won't mention him too much. But I feel like Prowler could have had a cooler role, and we know he fought Miles in the standalone game. But dude, I don't know. We need to see a full villain arc for him. I need to see him actually out there reluctantly doing some bad stuff, and he needs to be just like the Into the Spider-Verse version where he's scary. He has a bunch of upgrades, and Miles doesn't know how to take him down, even though this Miles obviously knows him pretty well and is obviously beating him in hand-to-hand combat already, but I don't know. He needs to be a bigger threat. He needs to be featured more. I really want to see the Prowler more in this game. Give Miles something to do other than write a college essay. It's like, do we live in a world now where it's like you can go to the best four-year university, not even get a job at McDonald's, right? So it's like, can we stop with the whole wasting our time on writing a 500-word essay that in the real world doesn't matter? So why would someone with spider powers and immense intelligence even give a fuck about that, honestly? Mini rant there anyways, but let's get into the big boys now. So Green Goblin, Carnage, I think those are the two main villains. Maybe Carnage is kind of the opening. I like Cletus Cassidy in the second game. They did such an amazing job with him. It was a good little twist. I had a feeling he was Carnage in the beginning, but I was like, no, it doesn't seem quite like Cletus, but I love the whole Far Cry 5 kind of cult vibe in New York City. I feel like that is just excellent for his character, and he already has a symbiote, so they just need to make him a threat. I don't know. I hope they just don't kill him off or get rid of him too soon. And again, I don't want an anti-Goblin suit. Getting in the Norman now, I don't want an anti-Goblin suit to fight Norman. I think Norman needs to be militaristic at first, but toward the end of the game, he needs to be his Goblin self. He needs to be an absolute menace. He needs to kidnap people close to both the main characters. Someone needs to die in this game. I love Miles' mom. I hope it's not her. I think we all kind of want it to be Mary Jane at this point because of all the Mary Jane missions, but I don't know. I think Goblin just needs to look like his comic counterpart. He needs to just be an absolute threat to the city. And again, getting the Otto Octavius Doc Ock. I love Doc Ock. He's probably my personal favorite villains in the Spider-Man Rogues Gallery. His interpretation of the game was pretty good. I liked the relationship with him and Peter. I don't know as much that I liked him toward the end of the game, even though he was menacing. I don't know. I just think Alfred Molina and a lot of the other animations do him better justice than this game, perhaps, but maybe they'll change my mind in the third game. I know Chameleon will be in this game too. I'm not super duper interested in Chameleon, but maybe we can actually have some in-depth kind of missions where he actually does confuse Spider-Man, and Spider-Man doesn't know who to trust anymore because it could be Chameleon, it could be one of his goons. Same with the Spot too. I want to see the Spot in this game. You know, I don't think the Spot's going to be anything kind of like his movie version where he's now this crazy OP multiversal threat, but it'd be fun in this game if he was just kind of like a side character on the street who waves to you. You come by him, he gives Miles a mission or two, and he kind of goes from just this clown on the street to someone who actually is like robbing a bank or actually causing issues in the city and can create portals, jump through the city, and maybe Spider-Man has to come help Miles with that, or Miles can take care of it himself. But anyways, that's what I kind of went for this game. Just kind of keep the focus on Green Goblin, keep it on Carnage. Maybe just add more to the Doc Ock, make Doc Ock more interesting. Prowler needs to be a way bigger focus in this game. I'm so sick of him being sidelined and not doing anything. I want to see Lizard back, Sandman back, Mysterio back. We need some OG Sinister Six type members back. And we need some obscure villains. Again, I think just like Spot, I feel like Spot would do a good job. Maybe a different Vulture or Scorpion as well. Or even Electro. It's like we can maybe have the mantles get passed to like their kids or some other people who knew them, or could kind of just do them better. But anyways, guys, that's going to be the whole video. Thanks for sticking around. I know there's even more Spider-Man villains I didn't mention, including Kingpin, which I do think Kingpin should return at this point. Don't really know how much more he can impact the story. He is interesting. But anyways, guys, I think that's going to be the end of the video. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what kind of villains you want to see in this game. What directions you want them all to go in. And I'm going to make some more Spider-Man 2/3 videos coming up soon. So stay tuned for that.